whatever, they play the whole song. You don't know me, do you, miss? You don't know me, do you? I'm not the love child of Barbara Streisand and Barry Manilow. But some people think I might. The reason they play the Tonight Show song is I'm proud to say that Joan Rivers told two of my jokes on the Johnny Carson show in the 80s. And thank you, Carolyn. And I'm very proud of that. But I signed a 6-page contract that said I'll never tell those jokes in public again. So my friend said, Joan Rivers died, unfortunately. She's dead. Maybe you could tell the jokes now. And I said, but her lawyer isn't. So I am a school teacher, and thank you. Beautiful playing. I can play, but I can't sing. I would never subject the audience to that. I give you a lot of credit.
Well, God bless you.
Thank you. I could use it. I have to drive back to New York. So anyway, I was a school teacher in a tough school. Are you the same lady who was here last time and we both taught in Red Hook? Yeah, I remember, right? Oh, you live in Red Hook?
I did. I grew up in Red Hook.
Yeah, I knew something. But anyway, I don't want to have a personal conversation. There are people on this side too. This is like Shea Stadium. It's so filled with people. But I was at Woodstock 50 years ago. I was talking about Shea Stadium, I'm a Beatle fanatic, but I was at Woodstock. And then 50 years later, I went out to California to a concert called Desert Trip. And people say, what's the difference? Well, I mean, some of the same groups were at both, but things changed. Like at Woodstock, there was a tent for bad acid trips. At Coachella, there was a tent for bad acid indigestion. And at Woodstock, they passed around a joint. At Coachella, they passed around the password to use your internet at Coachella. And Arlo Guthrie has a famous line in the movie Woodstock where he goes, "The freeway's closed, man." Well, the freeway was closed at Coachella. The difference is we pressed the button on our SUVs and our vans, and the wheelchair came down, and our walkers, and we walked through the mud to the show. 3 people lost their virginity at Woodstock. 3 people lost their dentures at Coachella. And then famous part of the concert out in California was when Paul McCartney was singing Hey Jude. And as you know, there's that part where he goes, da, na, 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 and then he goes like this. He wants you to do that whole part of Hey Jude, right? And the people join in. I stood up. I said, no, Paul McCartney, you are the richest musician in the world. I came out here, I'm sleeping out in the, desert. I paid a lot of money to be in this concert. You sing Hey Jude to me.
Yeah.
Exactly, I was indignant, like he could really care a lot about that. Then he had the men sing, and then the women. Maybe you should do that next time. With Unchained Melody, have the women sing.
Yeah.
So I was a school teacher. I taught in a really tough school. I told this lady last time, maybe she won't remember all my punchlines, but we used to read the Dick and Jane books. I don't know, nobody here is as old as me. They went like this: run, Spot, run, see, Spot, run, run, Sally, run. They were very wholesome in the 50s, but this is how I had to teach these kids how to read. Run, Spot, run. Dick's got a gun. Spot is a pit bull. Run, teacher, run. And those were the 10th graders. But it's sad to tell you this. I taught in South Jamaica, Queens, by the way, also besides Red Hook. It's sad to say that the 2nd grade girls had a gang. And the initiation was to take the milk containers off of my girls' lunch trays. So I named them the Half Pints. And the leader of the gang was the Dairy Queen.
Wow.
I I know. Well, now with Facebook, I see all the students. So I see the Dairy Queen. She's complaining about her husband that he can't get it up, Mr. Softy. I said, TMI. I don't need to know this about my student. But you know, I'm very proud of something. I know we're in New Jersey, but all the way back in Queens, there are 3 students that were famous from my school. One was a newscaster on Fox 5. One was an NFL star. And the third is the ATM bandit. He's from my school. I didn't teach him math like that. No. You know, math to figure out how to steal it from them. But there's something new in the school system called the participation trophies. Have you heard of these? Who has heard of a participation trophy? Oh, you heard of it. Karen, you want to tell the people what it is?
It's something awful. You just get a prize for participating. Doesn't matter whether you come in first or last. It totally knocks out competition. It enforces wussyism.
What kind of ism?
Wussyism. They become wussies.
Wussyism, that's funny. She should come up here and tell the story. But that's true. So everyone gets a trophy or an award or what do you call it?
Participation award.
Just because they're there in the classroom, just for showing up. And I'm glad I'm not teaching anymore. I'm retired because I don't go for that at all. But I could have used that on one of my honeymoons, or maybe both of my honeymoons. I've been married twice. Because I had husbands that participated, but very little was accomplished. I'm tired of these jokes. Yeah, I was married first to a Jewish guy. I'm Jewish, and we had a Jewish wedding, and then I was married to a Chinese guy the second time. It was 18 years later. He was a comedian too, and we had 3 New Years. 3 New Years, that was good. First you had the American New Year, and you had the fireworks. Then you have the Chinese New Year, of course, you have the fireworks. But then for the Jewish New Year, no fireworks. Unless you eat my Aunt Esther's the gefilte fish with a lot of horseradish. Then there are fireworks. You said you're part Jewish, right, Carolyn?
Just found that out.
Wow, unbelievable. I found out I'm half Polish and half Russian.
Me too.
So when my family got together, you know, my father's side, my mother's side, you didn't know who was who.
We all look alike.
Did he give you an egg roll?
Wow, he's 4 families behind me on my Russian family. In fact, I'll tell you something about the Polish side of the family, which is interesting. The last name, when they came over from Ellis Island, was Hershlikovitz. And that's the first name. Really, they cut it to Hirsch, and then through marriage, I ended up with my name. So anyway, I was telling you, I didn't tell you yet, but I'm getting older. Anybody else approaching age? Get it? You're approaching age?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm losing my hair. I'm being very intimate with a bunch of strangers. I don't know you. I'm losing my hair. But I know where it's going. It's going to my knuckles.
Yep. Mine's going down the drain.
Wow. Oh, I got 2 hecklers that are helping me out. So, also, ladies, let me see who would relate to this one. We have something we get when we get older called varicose veins.
Yep.
You heard of that? I call mine the Google Roadmap to Adventure. The Google Roadmap to Adventure. I killed on Broadway in New York City. So, this road takes you to the Sterling Forest. To break that down to you young girls who do the Brazilian and all, it's like the Silver Lake. Is that a place in New Jersey, Silver Lake?
Yeah.
And then, he said, yeah. And this road takes you to the Dead Sea, like Death Valley. But I look in the mirror and I try to make jokes, because otherwise, what are you going to do, right? So I see I have pound signs and parentheses. Now I have exclamation points. if you have pound signs, exclamation points, and parentheses on your face, I'll just lay down and send a text message on me. Another thing, I have bags here, you know. If they had bags like this in the Rockaways in Queens, where we had the terrible Hurricane Sandy, if they had these bags in the Rockaways during Hurricane Sandy, the F train never would have stopped running. Just would have protected the shoreline, tough crowd. So, as I say, I look in the mirror, I try to make jokes like, you know, the muffin top, mine's a baker's dozen. Hourglass figure, about a week and a half. It's almost. So, as I said, on the divorce side, I met this guy through a blind date, and he lived in Brooklyn, and I know you know Brooklyn, but I don't know who else knows Brooklyn. It doesn't matter. He was from Bragg Street, Brooklyn, but he had very little to brag about. I'll tell you why. We get to his apartment, and we're waiting for the elevator. He takes it one flight. That wouldn't be so bad, but on a singles ad, it says loves long hikes. And why are you showing me your singles ads? We met on a blind date. You shouldn't be showing me these. And then the singles ad says loves romantic horse and buggy rides. Hello, you're not Amish. You live in Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn. And with how lazy he was going up the elevator like that, he should have been from Knapp Street, around the corner from Bragg Street. You get it, Knapp Street? Yeah. So I was telling you, I was a school teacher in tough school, and other crazy things happened, like when we were young, again, none of you are my age, but when we were young, we had wooden desks, and we used to carve our sweetheart's name in the desk. These kids carved their sweetheart's name in their sweetheart. Yeah, really tough. And they didn't just chew their pencils, they swallowed the erasers. What's a pencil? They all use computers today, right? Is that why you didn't laugh, or it just wasn't fun? I thought because you use computers today. First, when Mickey said, he said the Ninja Turtles, was it?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I said, oh my goodness, he's so young. But then he said the Marx Brothers. I felt a little bit, he wasn't that young. But what I was saying was, in my school, you know, you walk in the building and you see the school colors, black and blue. Teacher, how do you tell time? That's easy. How long did you have me locked in the closet yesterday? Yeah, wow, it's tough, right? And then this kid says, teacher, I brought something for show and tell and word of the day. What word can he know that I don't know? Glock, G-L-O-C-K. It's a gun. Sorry. We're in the suburbs of New Jersey. Don't make it too heavy here. Well, I did want to tell you, one other thing I forgot to tell you, that when I was married to the Jewish guy, there was one night that I wished I was still married. I mean, when I got divorced, and I'm looking back, Hanukkah and Thanksgiving came out on the same exact night a few years ago. And it was that time I was looking back saying, I wish I was still married, because then my mother-in-law would only have to eat dinner over once that year.
There you go.
There you go. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to tell you the most exciting part of my whole that I told Carolyn I was going to tell her about. I'll share it with all of you. When I was in high school and college, I used to go for that Lolita scenario, you know, like the older man, the teacher, and the little 7th grade girl, and the professor when you're in college. Anybody else have that fantasy? You know, it didn't just work the other way around. With James Mason and little Lolita, it worked the other way around. We had crushes on our professors, well, I did. So anyway, now, at this point in my life, I'm in the opposite way. I like, you talked about your son marrying the MILF. Well, I'm not a